Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're diving straight into a piece of gear that completely redefines how we prep for the absolute worst out on the road. We're talking about the AVAPOW Jump Starter and Air Compressor. Honestly, this single little device is pretty much retiring those incredibly bulky, heavy emergency tools we used to lug around in the past. So let's just get right into it. So what exactly is your breakdown backup plan? I want you to picture this. You're driving down a dark, empty road late at night. Suddenly, there's a heavy thud and, yep, your tire goes completely flat. Or, maybe you just stop for gas and your car absolutely refuses to turn over. You know that sudden pit in your stomach? Waiting around for hours for a tow truck in the dark is a literal nightmare. And well, that's exactly the problem we're solving today. You can really think of this thing as a modern Swiss Army knife for drivers. Back in the day, you'd need this massive 30-pound lead-acid jump starter that took up literally half your trunk, right? Plus a separate tire pump and a clunky flashlight. But thanks to modern lithium tech, AVAPOW has managed to shrink a powerful battery booster, a digital tire inflator, a power bank, and an emergency light all down into one neat, highly portable little package. 5,000 amps. Now, to put that massive number into perspective for a second, your average everyday sedan only needs about 400 amps to start up. But depending on the exact model, this device pushes out anywhere between 2,000 and 5,000 amps of peak current. I mean, this isn't just for giving a tiny hatchback a little nudge. We're talking about serious, high-capacity electrical output that's designed to jolt a completely dead battery back to life, basically instantly. And because it packs that kind of massive power, it boasts a 10.0-liter capacity rating. Basically, this means this compact little device can handle massive engines. We're talking up to 10-liter gasoline and diesel vehicles, large V8s, big SUVs, pickup trucks, motorcycles, heck, even boats. Just knowing that you can jumpstart a heavy-duty diesel engine with something that just sits right there in your glove box, that is a massive confidence booster for sure. But beyond just jump-starting, it also features a 150 psi built-in air compressor. So not only are you turning over dead engines, but you actually have the required pressure on hand to inflate car tires, motorcycle tires, sports equipment, or even air mattresses if you're camping. It really does operate as a true multi-tool. So we're looking at 4 essential built-in features to handle the unexpected. Because, handling the unexpected requires some core pillars of protection. Having raw power is one thing, but actually being able to apply it to real-world emergencies, that's what makes a tool genuinely useful. Walk through this quick scenario with me for a second. Your car dies at night. First, you grab this and use the lithium booster to jump the battery. Okay, great. But then you notice a low tire, so you immediately switch over and use the compressor to inflate it. Now, because it's dark and honestly kind of dangerous on the side of the highway, you hit the integrated SOS light to alert passing drivers. And then, just to top it all off, you realize your phone is dead. No problem, you just plug it into the USB ports to call your family. Boom. One single device just systematically solved an entire cascading crisis. Now, when it comes to build quality and design, portability is absolutely front and center here. It features this really rugged plastic housing that somehow remains incredibly lightweight, especially when you compare it to those old-school jump starters. It packs a large, super clear digital display. The control buttons are incredibly intuitive, and it even comes with its own hard-shell carrying case. That case keeps the whole shebang totally organized, which makes it perfect for just tossing in your trunk or stashing in the glove compartment. Okay, so real-world performance. Does it actually deliver? Because we all know specs look great on paper, right? Well, in practical, everyday use, owners are reporting that just a single charge can provide dozens of successful jump starts. People are out there turning over large V8s, inflating multiple tires back to back, and get this, the device still retains a significant amount of battery capacity afterward. Pretty wild. Now, one standout feature I really have to mention is the compressor's auto shutoff. You just dial in your desired pressure on the digital display, hook it up to your tire, and it automatically stops pumping exactly at the selected pressure. That's a premium touch you usually only see on much more expensive units. It completely eliminates the guesswork, prevents overinflation, and honestly makes it incredibly safe, even if you have literally never inflated a tire in your entire life. Moving on to pros, cons, and safety, the objective reality check. Look, we need to evaluate where this device shines, but also its practical limits. No tool is completely perfect, right? So to figure out if this actually belongs in your car, we need to do an honest reality check here. Yes, the pros are fantastic. It has an incredibly powerful starting capacity, that awesome auto shut-off inflator, and it's super compact. But on the con side, you do have to be aware of the notoriously short jumper cables. That can definitely make accessing certain engine bays a bit of a tight squeeze. And while it fills standard tires perfectly, it's not really meant for continuous heavy-duty use on, say, massive tractor-trailer tires. And finally, remember it is still a battery. You do have to charge it periodically to maintain that emergency readiness. You can't just forget about it for 5 years. To help mitigate any user error, they packed in some really serious beginner-friendly safety protections. We're talking reverse polarity, overcurrent, short circuit, overcharge, and spark-proof technology. What all of that means in plain English is that if you cross the wires or accidentally hook it up backward while you're in a total panic on the side of the road, it will not spark. And more importantly, it won't fry your car's expensive computer system. It just grants absolute peace of mind. So that brings us to the final verdict. Who actually needs this device? We know exactly what it does, we know how safe it is, but who really needs to go out and toss one of these into their vehicle right now? Well, this device caters perfectly to a few specific user profiles. For you daily commuters out there, it's strictly about peace of mind. I mean, you really don't want to be late for work just because of a dead battery. For the road trip enthusiasts, this is a vital all-in-one emergency kit, especially if you're out in remote areas without any cell service. And for first-time drivers, those beginner-friendly, spark-proof safety features we just talked about make this an absolute must-have. Ultimately, looking at everything, this device earns a very solid 4.5 out of 5 stars. It honestly just offers outstanding value. The sheer convenience of combining a jump starter, an inflator, a power bank, and an emergency light into one unit, that heavily outweighs minor drawbacks like those shorter cables. For the vast majority of drivers out there, it's simply a really smart investment. Which brings us to the end of our explainer. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final, pretty important question. Are you truly prepared for the unexpected on your next drive? Think about it. If your current backup plan is basically just relying on waiting hours for a tow truck or crossing your fingers and hoping a stranger happens to have a set of jumper cables, it might be time to rethink your emergency kit. Maybe it's time to literally put the power back in your own hands.